So I talked a little bit in my last live. I was pretty distracted with my haircut, and then, I didn't really even elaborate on what I thought. Did you see that? Was like the most egregious part of this man's behavior. And like people probably most of you probably don't know who this is. I don't know. Maybe you do. And I titled the title what I did because of like from other people's perspective. I don't think it's a bad thing to be feminine. I don't think that feminine energy equates to losing your shit and being overly emotional. But we know that a lot of people do think that. So that's why I titled it the way it's kind of me being sarcastic, like he is, hey, Mr. Carey. Andrew Wilson is an online commentator who is a married father, and he tells everybody else what they should live. He did say, "I've never called myself a traditionalist," which okay, like that's I guess that's true if that's what he's saying. I don't know for sure, but he sure as hell comes off very hypocritical because he makes fun of single moms, and it's just like the things that he said. He's always been very, very crash with his what am I crass, not crash with his delivery. Like he doesn't care about anybody else's feelings. And I think he's a great example. He's like a textbook psychology case of somebody whose ego is way too big, who needs to have an ego death and then meet his shadow self. Hey Fendi. So I posted a video on my community tab. Like I had a video playing, and then when I got off the live, I was like, oh my gosh, and I straightened my hair, but you still now it's like the layers you can't see. I don't know. I need to layer it more. I wanted more layers. But anyways, I had this video playing. I was like, it's just unreal his behavior and is a woman who and a lot of the stuff he talked about, especially the birth control stuff, it just was really interesting to me. And I've seen this play out several times before. And it's a man acting extremely emotional, but people seem to never count it when a man is emotional, or often don't count it. Like unless he's crying, and then they'll make fun of that. But like, a man can be assertive, aggressive. He can pound his fists on the table, and he's just demanding. His presence is demanding, you know? Like, if a woman was to say the exact same things and bang her fists on a table, let's be real. Pearl Davis does that a lot. I've noticed Pearl will like do this thing where she's always like banging her fist on a table, and I'm like, your daddy does that. And I just know your rich millionaire daddy, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying, it's a very like masculine kind of she's like, oh, and then it's like I don't listen to her that much anymore, but when I was like more interested in her content, that shit used to get on my nerves. Because it would be like, you know. So he is married, this Andrew Wilson guy, and he seems to be one of these people like it's amazing. Some people might think I'm like that, but I'm really not. I really don't think I have all the answers. I think like whenever I talk about anything, it's just people that are on the same path, will find each other. But I definitely don't think like everybody should live like me. Every woman should get married in her early 20s because I talk about like why don't we not why don't we stop, like, not encouraging people to get together in their youth? Like, tell everybody that they need I don't know why everybody decided, like, 30, 35 was, like, the magical age, which it is for a lot of people, but I'm just saying, like, we might be, um, holding people back by, giving them time frames, whatever it is, you know? So, I thought one thing that he said to her that was super interesting. "Oh, Diamond, how are you doing?" Well, you're playing your game, you don't have to say anything back. Thank you for saying my hair looks good. He said to her, she hasn't done shit. She hasn't even taken care of another person. She doesn't have a family. And it's so interesting to me. Somebody that has spent half of his online career, I say that loosely, but he's a commentator that just like claims he's a great orator and debater. That's like me saying that like I'm a great orator, like doing what I like. It's just so insane. I don't think you can call yourself an orator. Can you if you've never been paid? Like no, I don't I doubt anybody's paid this man to give a speech somewhere. But for him to have that attitude towards her, it's like, but whenever a woman is a single mother, you're not gonna have that same attitude towards her. Like, she has taken care of somebody. She's done it, and, like, if she does it all on her own, like, that would be really hard. Just as much as my husband works, like, I don't wanna make it sound like I'm a single parent because 'cause I'm not, because I don't have to deal with the finances, like, on my own, but that's why people give so much credit to single parents, 'cause they deserve it, 'cause it's really freaking hard, and to talk smack about single moms the way that he does, but then to turn around and say to a young woman in her 20s, "You haven't done shit with your life, you've never had a kid," and then the conversation goes to abortion, and it's just like, you really can't win with people like him, especially, and if you say the wrong thing, then they will go off, and then they're used to getting their way because they're the big, strong, male-bodied individual, and I just have a feeling he does this more so around people that are smaller than him. He seems to be one of those people. And, the birth control, like, he was like, I don't know what some abortion stuff was all about. He's basically trying to, like, corner her into agreeing with him, and then it turns into, like, how we shouldn't have birth control, and it's people, like, I know they just say stuff like this because of what's happening right now, like, people will talk about it. It makes for, their content to spread. Oh, that's nice you're watching from Brazil, Marcos. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Um, when do you know that he or she is the one? Shorts, well, you know, but, everybody different. Birth control makes women crazy. This is like one thing that, like, I don't want to speak for all women, but I have said it before, like, it really did genuinely make me feel kind of crazy. But it's making you feel that, or at least I was self-aware enough to. And I do wonder that about other women. I've shared before, I've had one friend stopped getting the shot, which is only supposed to be for like a year. Like, you're not supposed to get that shot for longer than a year. It stops your cycles completely. You have no periods at all. And she told me she was on it for like 9 or 10 years. I was like, what are you talking? Like, that's supposed to be temporary. I knew this. Like, I don't know who was giving that shot to her for years and years and not telling her. And she got off of it. Like, it was like her personality changed. And like, these are things that should and could be studied, but, like, of course, they don't wanna bring any light to, what actually happens when you really mess with somebody's hormones, and it can be a good thing. When I say mess, like, some women are suffering, they're bleeding for days and weeks at a time before they get on the birth control pill, so, like, I'm not saying that it's not ever worth it, I just think that we are, like, really in the dark when it comes to hormones, and there is a better way than giving all women with all issues, form of, like, horse urine hormones, like, which carries with it risks of blood clots and strokes and stuff. They always told us when you're 35, like, they basically told us growing up. I don't know how many women are in here, but, like, do you agree with me? They told us, like, after the age of 35, don't take the birth control pill. It's so, especially if you're a smoker, you probably shouldn't take it, like, past 25 or 30, but, like, the risks after 35 aren't worth it. And, like, the last OBGYN I went to in the town over, unfortunately, like, before I found my surgeon that gave me the hysterectomy, he was trying to get me to take the birth control pill. I'm like, "I'm too old for that, aren't I?" And he's like, "No, no, it's fine." I'm like, "I'm sorry." It is insane how they shove that down women's throats for absolutely everything. I didn't even have that, like, it I can't even remember what he wanted to give it to me for. I wasn't even complaining about my periods or anything. It was like my cervix. I wanted a hysterectomy, and he's trying to give me the birth control pill. It is insane. And that shit is in our water. They can't filter it out. Like, you can get a water filter that will filter out most pharmaceuticals. Like, our water treatment plants, in my opinion, like, they don't filter out all the pharmaceuticals. So then it's like, it makes me wonder if some of that shit isn't seeping into Andrew Wilson's bathwater. Once again, I say it facetiously because I do think everybody has masculine and feminine energy. And somebody like him would think that it is a feminine trait to absolutely lash out at somebody. I mean, I put the clip on my channel. It starts off, this was a 6 hour long podcast. I believe somebody said it was around the 4 hour, 16-minute mark. that this started. And he goes on to say that taking away birth control is the answer because then women would have less kids because that's what happened before. I don't think we I don't think we ever really like the way that they mess with narratives now. I don't believe that we really knew. I think there was a lot more abortions going on than people realized. I'm sorry to be morbid, like trigger warning, but like women always had their methods, okay? And like they maybe even more so back then. Maybe women like and that's a horrible thing to think of, like, for some people, it's just, like, the reality of the situation is people did always get pregnant out of wedlock before. Half or more than half of us were born out of wedlock. I think it's, like, 50, 60% or some or maybe it's 40%. Whatever it is, it's damn near close to half of people are, like, unplanned blessings, and I couldn't imagine taking that all away. away. I'm not a traditionalist, but I don't think anybody should have sex until they're married. And then what? What? And the person whose reaction video I posted, he like said the same thing, like, yeah, you can say that, but like, let's be real. We've all been young. Like, we've all been young and you know what I mean? And like, that's why we need to guide our young people better. Be like, uh, I don't understand that attitude that older people have towards young people that like, uh, you know, just don't do anything. It's like that's not realistic. Lucky. I walked my dog and I straightened my hair and I decided to come back on because I didn't elaborate on the stuff with Andrew Wilson that I wanted to as much. And I posted it on my channel on the community tab. If you guys want to see for yourself, I think I posted a pretty good reaction video. He seriously needs like he is the literal textbook psychology textbook example of somebody with like a huge ego, a bruised ego, and he needs to learn his shadow self. That's Jungian psychology, where you aren't going to be completely whole as a person, and you're not going to have good mental health until you face like the darkest parts about you. And if he did do that, I don't think he would be. I don't know. Maybe he would be. It's just. Um, I've said this before, and that's what it reminds me of. It's the going back and forth with this is the misogynist in me, okay? Like I admit it. There's certain things that I'm like, but why do I just automatically assume that because it's like a man and a woman, and it's just it's feminine to me to go back and forth with a female on the internet. Not in a friendly way, but like when you're trying to prove them wrong or something, it's like the most stoic like, do you think Abraham Lincoln, if he was alive today, would be doing that? Talk about a great orator. He was like became president because he was so well known for his speeches. Like was well known for just his storytelling. And he first was out on his own. He like worked at a general store and he was known in the town for like the great. And then he got into politics and that stuff with the norm was for pretty much all of human history, Jamie said. Right. Oh, we have city water, but they never clean it so bad. Diamond said, there's a lot of boil water advisories around here because, like the mountainous terrain, there's just like always water lines breaking and stuff. And I can't juggle. Fendi, are you talking about Lincoln was a tyrant? See, when I have a video coming out about him eventually, but I do know, like, I've seen that quote, if he could have won the war without freeing the slaves, he would have. Like, people think that he was like, this big humanitarian, but it wasn't quite like that. Is that what you mean by that? But of course, like, it's so funny, the, 2-month bluegrass homesteader member. Oh, Carrie, that's so nice. There's a Abraham Lincoln birthplace here, but it like decades after they built it, they realized like it wasn't. It's like they said when I was a little girl, they're like, this is a cabin Abraham Lincoln was born in, and it's like encased in this nice big building. And sometime since I was 8 years old, they're like, oh wait, like they did live there on that property, but that particular cabin wasn't what he was born in. But yeah, it's like every everybody you learn about oh, thank you, Craig, is, disappointing. And their conversation also went into, colonizers, which I also think he just like, I really don't think this woman meant it like every white person is a horrible colonizer. She was just talking about, like, colonizers, and he took that as, like, he has a big chip on his shoulder about that for sure, and I think it's important, like, for us all to take a step back and, like, I really don't feel like she was the kind of person that's like, "You pay for the sins of your grandfathers," with that and, like, the reactive like, the things that men can get away with that women cannot, like, I if men realized how much of our lives we are told, like, we're not allowed to be emotional, and I know it's very similar with men, but, like, it seems to be, like, it's not I know some people are treated I wasn't ever, like, called princess, I wasn't a little princess, and, like, my parents treated me well, but you know what I mean? I wasn't like, "You're a girl and you're, like, a little princess on the P." I don't know, you know what I'm talking about, the story Princess on the P. Princess and the Pea? Emperor children, how are you? JC has family in Kentucky, that's nice. Tester, you did a school project on him. Poor guy went to the wrong play. Don Juan stank. I live in a small house with a large um, that's funny. Um, Pee outside. Yeah, it's little boys that like to pee like a dog. Must be nice. Diamond, she gave us mods 3 guidelines. Starts automatic ban. Oh, thank you, Mr. Carey. Yeah, there's um and like yeah, spam comments straight up. Like I know that people can be really annoying, but I also don't want you guys to feel like you have to like monitor too much. I think stream's good approach to apply the woman persuasion to have chat with someone. Are you talking about this Andrew Wilson? And I'm all about like good debates. I know that's kind of stupid of me. Like I can admit it. That's kind of it's a free country. I think that people should be able to talk to whoever they want to. And just because you're a grown man doesn't mean that you can't fight with women half your age. But do you understand where I'm coming from? It just looks kind of silly. And when like that older gentleman was like coming at me. It's like the same thing. It's like I almost can't even take you seriously because like if you are the kind of person that would hey pyramid, thank you. I'm 30 and oh Leroy, that's you. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I home educate my 8-year-old. And this is the last point that I had to make about this. I knew this was going to be short. Um, actually, okay, honestly, my husband made this point, and I just thought it was so great, and I can't like work it into a live lately because I don't want to make a live just talking about this. But why is there no such thing as a crazy old dog man? All these cat ladies references. I'm getting really tired of the cat lady references, and I've been married for 15 years. I can only imagine what it feels like to be a woman. You know how many women like to no fault of their own. Like I mean that. Like of course nobody's perfect, but it's not and like I think a lot of men would even agree that because like they're the ones that seem to think that no matter what, like a woman can get a man. Like any woman is worthy of a man, which like most people are, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like she's attractive enough. Jack Morgan, I reacted to him being like, any man, like you just like polish her up, even if she's like homeless and doesn't look that good. There's a man out there that would take care of her, even if he can't, you know, that kind of attitude that like women's lives are inherently easier just because it is possible for us. Um, to get affection easier or to get, you know, taken care of easier. Um, oh, beta culture. That's so nice. She looks after her 8-year-old. It's the hardest job in the world. No, Red. I don't know that much about Mr. Farrakhan. I know of him. Boys, no daughters. I wish I had a princess, Craig said. Oh, yeah, I'm completely fine with having all boys myself, but I think it's that attitude that people and I know not all girls, definitely not all, but, like, a lot of girls are just, I hate to use the word spoiled. I hate that. I hate that term because I don't think you can spoil a kid, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah. Did you just say to go out and pick up a homeless person for a date? No, it's Charlie. I said somebody else said that. this other man, and I think it's the attitude of a lot of men, and it was eye-opening for me because, like, I just know that's what a lot of men think because it is easier for a woman to, like, live with a guy and him pay all the bills, like, that is, like, so commonplace now, you know, like, we aren't all, like, trying really hard to survive, people it's really messed up. I saw this video, this woman living in a tent, working 2 jobs, and, like, ah. That's what we should be talking about right now. What do you think happens in the 5 seconds after you die? Hey, Baker. Hey, Maker Baker said, um, I don't really want to say JC. He's a blue collar worker. We're gonna say he's in transportation. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Um, hey, Maker, I have no idea, but I do think that we actually like have a soul that goes somewhere, that it's not just brain activity like a lot of people think, like the near death experiences or chemicals your brain releases. I'm not going to say, I'm just gonna say transportation and leave it at that. I'm sorry, guys. I've had people be really mean to me and act like if they found out where I live, they would like come here. I've already disclosed, he's like gone a lot, but um, it's Charlie. You were the one saying that in the last live, weren't you? Um, Dope ass Kentucky. Are you asking why I'm jealous of other people's lives? I'm sorry. I don't know where you're getting that from. Can you explain? My old lady says I need to go out with the fellas more often. Mark said he doesn't know you and to stop spreading false accusations. Oh, this is a really, really random comments. Um, well, anyways, I just wanted to get that off my chest. Plus, lastly, okay, this is what really got to me that I keep forgetting about. He made fun of her being a lesbian, and it was so incredibly childlike. And just like anybody that wants any advice on how to like not come off as a complete douchebag, like in a way, to hear a man make fun of a lesbian in the act of oral are you kidding me? Like, that shows how utterly insecure he is, that right there. Like, any man that really I feel bad for his wife, and his wife calls in. I'm missing, like, half of it. His wife calls in after they have this, like, little like, which is him exploding over the comment, and it's like, she has to explain because this is how much it matters to them. Like, this Charlie woman, I really don't think she had a judgmental bone in her body about it. But Rachel Wilson, his wife, had to explain how she was with somebody from high school. They had 2 kids together, and I don't think they got married, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just these people would look down on any woman that had 2 kids, not getting married. I had my first 2 kids not married. So, like, I am not saying I can't stress that enough. Like, it doesn't matter to me. But he is, like, making the circuits, just doing almost half of what he talks about is talking shit about single moms. And it was great when, like, at this point, anybody that knows anything about him would understand her point when she's like, "Did you marry somebody with 3 baby daddies?" Because he would always be harping on that towards anybody else. And I think he's one of these guys, if he would grow up, that's the thing. Like, if he was mature, he wouldn't feel the need to prove himself right to these people. There's like Darren McPherson, he's one of my favorite. Like, I don't know if he'd consider himself Manosphere. Fendi, do you follow Darren McPherson? I really like him, and I think he's like a really good he's a married man, and he makes, I don't know if some people would say red pill content, but, you can be a grown ass man and try to help other people, especially men, and, by not being a jackass. But I know that's easier. I'm doing it right now. It is easier to just like go live and talk to people. Making edited content is 100,000 times harder. Oh, Craig, I'm just talking about it. It's really interesting to me because it's so like if the tables were turned, it would be more than obvious. Like this person is crazy out of control, but because it's a man, he's just like expressing himself. Um, Bye, Don Juan. Hunting or fishing, beach or camping? Oh, that's so hard. I would say fishing and camping, but I do like the beach, but I just wouldn't want to spend like a whole day, you know? I could spend like a whole week or weekend camping. Yeah, Craig, you said something about drama. Are you talking to me? Leroy, I did not like that Andrew guy, and I never really watched him. I'm surprised, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. He was on Piers Morgan? I'm like, "Geez Louise, I just need to keep at it. Maybe I'll be on Piers Morgan one day if that guy he's just, like, got no substance to him." Very much the, like, fake it till you make it kind of thing, in my opinion, and he's, like, the most macho white man I think I've ever seen, like, a lot of the he has a chip on his shoulder because he knows a lot of people, like, don't like white people, and he feels, like, super duper offended by that, but, like, I really don't feel like, most white men walk around like that's what makes men so great, they don't engage in that often, right? And that's what the wounded part of him, if he healed, he would be um, I don't have a substance. Oh, we like oh, I thought you were talking about drugs. I need to go. Well, Craig, I've got enough to say that people like to hear me talk about a lot, but I'm not claiming to be like Andrew Wilson either. I didn't call myself a great orator, one of the best debaters of all time. And I think I could spend 10 years on here and I'd still be humble enough that, like, even if I debated a bunch of people, I wouldn't call myself the greatest debater of all time. That's a title other people give you. You don't give the title of the greatest to anything to yourself. Um, he wants to be macho. Yes, the men are better than women. Listen to what I say. Chain smoking, the drinking out of whiskey glasses. Who else acts like that? You know what I mean? It's like, it's very machismo, only he's white. Yes, dope ass. I know about Freudian slip. What do you think about the no people question? I didn't see it in Cap Chase. Did you ask it? Well, I felt really, really, it just, I didn't see the question. Maybe I should look in your chat history. You just asked the same question twice. No, he does not hunt. He has a GUN collection. He likes to shoot, but he's never been hunting. First time in your stream. What do you do in your stream? Well, Raha, earlier I cut my hair. Can't even hardly tell. It's so much hair I have. I'm gonna cut it more tomorrow. It's like barely layered. Um, well, left wing mouth. I've been a registered independent since 18, and I've said I lean towards the right like a million times on my channel. But I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this guy. He's being a douche. Would your husband let me come around? Oh no, you don't nobody needs to come around for a wedding anniversary. That's a weird question. Well, I think I made my point. Some of the biggest misogynists that act like, they think they're once again, you don't walk around talking about yourself like that. You just are the example of like those. I think I've never heard him say stoic. I want to say I would venture to say he brings up stoicism and being stoic sometimes. Maybe I'm wrong, but he is the literal polar opposite of that. He's like 180 degrees away from a stoic man. And I couldn't imagine um, being I basically did trim it. Being married to that. Lydia got the Lydia treatment. Oh my god, Carrie, you're so funny. And there's like thing after thing. It's like telling me I have no substance. But if you're gonna sit there and like throw insults at a YouTuber, my new resolution is not to talk politics. Take that energy and learn new skills. T2, T2. That's a really good resolution. I wish more people would do that. Or it's kind of like instead of focusing any energy on that, like what can we do to proceed? Like whenever you feel like the Epstein thing, like, I've just stopped paying attention to that, like, it is what it is. We're never gonna know, like, the full truth, but we do know the truth, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, we'll never have, like, the hardcore proof, um, but I don't intrigued by him. By who, dope ass? That guy that I banned? See, I have a hard time following people. Bristol, Tennessee, that's cool, Rick, how are you doing? Thank you for always posting that, Mr. Carey. But yeah, I posted the video if you want something funny to watch, and it is validating as a woman to see so many people like call him out, and it's not even about man versus woman, but it's like that's where my mind takes it because of like, the things that he's always saying. And for him to make fun of the way if she immediately, like, all she did was ask it was a literal fact, state a fact, and like ask a question. There was nothing wrong with what she did or how she did it. And it was after he's called her stupid, and then he called her a ditch licker? I've never heard of that before, but that was like such a it's just so skanky. I think it is so incredibly immature when a man makes fun of like the female anatomy like that. And it's just so weird to me. It's like, aren't you a ditch licker? I'm sorry. But like what? I do not get uh it's not left versus right. And Cap, I don't disagree with you, but it's really like something we can't even talk about because they're so. But yeah, so Roseanne, little D energy, right? Pyramid. Roseanne Barr, she did this interview. I forget, I don't know. It was Nick Fuentes talking about it, but she said the creepiest shit. She's like, if the US stops supporting the no no country, they will fall. And like the way she said it was like, creepy. She wasn't just saying it, she had to be, like, enthused over it. It's so weird to me, and, like, we don't know because that's not how we are, most of us. It's like he was making a really good point, there's, like, this world no-no people government. There's, like, this world no-no people group that is there a world, a group with, like, all the Italian like, Italian people that have, like, global representation and, like, get together? There's no other group of people that, like, have this group like that. That's just I believe in yin and yang. Men and women are different, but still should use both strengths to be together, not be divided to each other. Yes, T2, I agree with that too. I think there's masculine and feminine energy. Most females are feminine dominant, males are, like, more masculine energy usually, but not always. And, yeah, a lot of this, rhetoric, if we could just, like, start treating people as human beings and, maybe Amber Sheck wouldn't have, been bludgeoned to death November 11th if more people and, great that guy was obviously fucking crazy, but, like, if more people were socialized better, and it wasn't like, "Oh, who's that 20-year-old woman that thinks she can do a man's job?" It's like the men that rag on women for not doing the hard men's jobs are probably the men that would give them the most shit when they were doing it, and then, like, automatically assume that they weren't pulling their weight, and I'm sure sometimes they aren't, and these really hard jobs, you know what I mean? And, like, when you see, drive by a construction site, and it's like, there has to be somebody with a stop sign, but it's like the woman with the stop sign, and it's like, well, yeah, she is the less physically capable one. Like, why do we not want men to get into nursing and education? Like we want women to get into STEM. Um, and we need to like it's okay, men aren't quite built the same way for those same professions, but let's quit like acting like they don't matter and women don't do like incredibly hard professions. Like if you've never taken care of like multiple children, been responsible for multiple children's education, then you have no business um, you know, saying that like teaching isn't a hard profession. Roseanne is borderline Kabbalist practicing Jew, which is fine. I'm just saying a bit woo woo. Oh no, I said it. I said that you made me say the no word pyramid. No. Yeah, you're right, like, that red bracelet thing, I know what you're talking about, like, I liked her, I liked how she was like I didn't like what she said about that black woman looking like a monkey, like, or whatever she said exactly was wrong, and, I think, I thought then, like, "Is she going crazy?" Like, uh early stages of dementia, and I'm not making fun of that, but it's like, how can you be a public figure and say something so egregious and think it's okay? I'm talking about all kinds of stuff. Ayabishek. I like coming across like different names and trying to pronounce them. And I know not all of these screen names are going to be like legit names. First, they divided us by race. Now They're trying by gender. Yes, T2, I completely agree with you. Yes, it was like yeah, I guess it was race and the immigrants are thrown in there somewhere, you know what I mean? It was like race, immigration, like gender, which I know is kind of, I guess, race, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's like just politics, whatever your choice. It's really funny to me how people assume I'm left leaning a lot. Like there are always people that are in here for just, which there's nothing wrong with that, but Papa Duckin said, "Look, you drive across buildings and bridges to get your hair did that men built." Well, yeah, I know what you're saying, and literally every single person in the whole world was built by a woman. I don't know why that is so lost upon you. Like, it more women risk their lives giving birth than men risk their lives building bridges and stuff. I don't mean to sound disrespectful either. I'm just like putting it into perspective. Like, yes, I do get it. Like those are they get compensated for it. Like a woman will never get compensated and she's shit on for like not doing the bridge building. Like it makes no sense to me. I don't agree with either playing on the wrong side of sports in my opinion, but jobs I'm fine with, Diamond said. Um no, she's being herself. She had just taken Ambien when she sent that tweet. Pyramid. Oh, you're right. You remembered. Okay, you remember a lot more than me. I do remember that detail now because she came out and was like, "I'm sorry, I took Ambien." I've heard like I never took it myself, but I had an uncle that had some crazy stories, and like somebody else I knew was like, "Don't take Ambien. Like you black out, you don't remember what you're doing and stuff." Like, every person on earth was built by a woman and a man. Crossroad, the woman builds the baby in her body for 10 months and then pushes the baby. That's what I mean. Yes, it takes a man, but I'm saying that women's contribution to society in lieu of not being able to build the big things we all use in our infrastructure is like we build all the babies, and if more of you would, get that, the whole world would be a better place, and that doesn't mean anything really has to change besides your mentality. You don't have to treat women any different. Nothing has to really change besides, everything would change if you were like, "Wow, what you do is so amazing. I can't believe" and some men do think like that. "I can't believe that you guys go through what you do." Pyramid, I sometimes regret not having even tried. Oh, why? You never even tried it? I like it was never it just I don't know. I feel like I don't get affected by so it just makes you feel like you take drink incredibly strong coffee. That's how it made me feel. And then you feel freaking horrible coming down from it. Like I never came down from anything but that and I didn't like it. So like you're really not missing out. And my psychicness, last time I was around it, I had a feeling not to do it. And I'm glad I didn't because apparently it was like half baking soda and everybody was like, "Oh, it burns so bad." And I'm like, "Yeah, that was after I became a mom." Not that like, Miss Goody Two Shoes over here. It's like obviously I was at a house party, but like I wouldn't trust anything from this with fentanyl and stuff. I wouldn't um and I know Pyramid isn't talking about seriously doing that, but, like, oh gosh, imagine in the '80s when it was, like, really good and, like, so many people were on it. It's like, from what I've heard, it's like literally everybody was on that stuff. John Henry, how are you doing, John? I remember you. You're the John Henry, right? Same thing with any type of hallucinogenic substance. Oh, yeah, Pyramid. See, I've not done that much. Video game stream and other things that interest you. Leonitrus, are you saying you do video game stream? The whole world would be a better place if you disagree that you need a man stop playing games, talking about mentalities. Carlos, I never said that. Okay. Yeah, I do need my husband. I say all the time because of him, I can be a stay-at-home mom to our special needs 8-year-old. I definitely need my husband, and every woman would be better off with a good the point is, like, it's always the woman's fault, even when she is taking accountability and raising the child. It's still somehow like her fault more so than the man. I bring up stuff like that. I definitely don't think that. we don't need no man, or like, I mean, I support women who have babies on their own. I do, because I can put myself in those shoes. If I didn't have a child and I had the opportunity to like do it like sperm donor wise, I probably would do that to have a child, because you really want to have children when you want to be a mom. Women are just as essential to men. We need them to take care of the home and next generation so men can take care of the world. And Cap Chase. Yes, and that's um I think that's the way most people would like to live, but not everybody, right? Like, definitely not everybody. I was watching this podcast of this woman that was like, first of all, she looked great. You could tell she didn't have like work done. She was in her 50s. I thought she was in her early 30s, a white woman. Like, she was talking about how like she's child free, and like the title of it was like the world is scared, is terrified of me, or something like that. And there was like just so many comments. It was funny to me how many men like wanted to make it a point that like, no, we're not scared of you. We're not terrified of like middle-aged or older women that like are business women, like we're not. And I just thought that was really interesting. It's like a bad thing when you're a woman and you want to make money. Like, you should be able to do both, especially if you have like 1, 2 kids. Like, you have decades of your life outside of the child rearing, and uh, a lot of women don't want to just stay at home. Then some do, but then yeah, Fendi, we were talking about Coke. Then you don't. I should say snow. I should have said snow. Then you don't get the credit when you stay at home, by a lot of people's standards. And that's like what I want to like, we need to revere homemaking for what it is. Like, it is a very big sacrifice. That's what people, the whole point of me saying it is the hardest job is because like you literally never clock out. Like, whatever other job you could say is harder, like you get compensated for it, you get the respect in society for doing it, most of these hard jobs. And like nobody ever says thank you for your service to the mothers, but they are literally helping to serve the entire community around them when they are doing a good job taking care of their kids. But nobody recognizes that like that. So it automatically gets turned into women aren't better than men or whatever. Like, no, that's not the whole point. Is like, if more people did recognize what it took to be a mom and honored that, then maybe more women would want to do it and there'd be less goofy shit going around. Talking about like we need to have dads pay the moms to stay at home. It's just insane. Man who needs cookies, why don't you go jerk off to some more sissy porn? 'Cause, not that there's anything wrong with that. So you get into like, it's trying to be the ultimate insult, calling somebody transgender. It's like it gets really old. Did you hear my voice crack? A is please. I've talked my husband to sleep before. He likes it. Oh, Jimmy, you're welcome. One couldn't do it without the other, so there's no reason for either one to boast. Right, Crossroad, but the whole point I'm making is like, a lot of people, and I'm not saying you because I don't know you personally, a lot of people don't give the mom, the at-home parent that's the woman most often, any credit at all. They're looked at the opposite, is like lazy or less than. When a lot of people that do stay at home with kids temporarily, they're like, "Oh, I can't wait to go back to work." When I was off my feet for my surgery, it was like really then my husband and I worked full time, but still, like, me being like really legit off my feet for 2 weeks straight was when he realized like how much is really involved. Cause like just like he does, like on his days off, on my days off, I would help. Like um I remember telling like, "This is great. It's so great to be able to go home and sleep," and like everybody's trying to make sure I get my sleep like never before. That never happens when you're the at-home parent. And like, once again, this is not towards my husband. He was great about, if I was like, "Can I sleep in?" Like, he would let me do that. But you know what I mean? It's not like the same as when you have a schedule and a job, and then like you don't have to worry about the food and the grocery shopping and the food prep. This is great. I'm sorry. It is easier to clock in and out of most jobs than it is to take care of the household, take care of a bunch of people. And when Andrew, hey Gary, how are you doing? Andrew Wilson said that like, you've never even done anything. You've never taken care of somebody. You don't have a family. I'm like, "Hey," it's like this little glimpse of like him being like, yeah, that is like truly, it's hard in that it's like selfless, even though a lot of people want to call parents selfish. Like it is hard work you don't get compensated for. In the traditional ways one gets compensated. Been talking an awful lot about pee. Carmine said stupid men do not give credit. And like like I had to tell my husband, like he's great. He'd be like compliment me, but like I had to tell him like, it's I don't have a boss saying you do a good job at you know what I mean? Like even some of the good men, they still have to you just need to tell them, because they weren't raised with somebody saying that around them. But anyways, I think I made my points. I just got sad when I got off of here earlier and I was like, I want to get back on. Diamond said, wish I could get a man, LOL. Oh, Diamond. Yeah, if if we could like all start a community. Society and mostly men don't think of women stay-at-home mothers as working. Right, and it's the opposite. It's like it is the most important labor by cer a baby will die if they aren't held by a human for what, like, I don't know, is it 24 hours or something like that? It's like, the care of a parent, usually the mother, is so crucially important for like every single member of society to even get to the point where they can be a productive member of society, like a fully grown person. And like, why is that not taken into account? But the building of bridges is, I mean, I'm sorry, come on. And like, they can't even build a bridge, right? And like, look at the bridge that they made. The newest bridge in Louisville is constant construction. I'm sorry, guys, but it's just like we can't build things the way we used to. Look at houses that were built 100 years ago compared to the houses now. They're going to fall down in 50 years. They're seriously like, they're horrible quality. So, like, if you want to like walk around talking about how men build things, you need to keep in mind like, everything is going downhill. Absolutely everything. And that's not all the actual men's fault. It's like the quality of the materials is worse. It's like, so I don't mean to make it like, oh, they're lazy and bad, but it's like everything is getting worse. And yeah, that what is it, the Clark Memorial Bridge in Louisville? They built that when I was a kid. It's like literally like every year there's constant construction. So yeah, Mew Dang, Mizami. I love you too. Gary said he wish he had a woman. Gary Diamond. No, I'm joking. That makes me sad because I don't want to laugh at that, but it's like I do feel very empathetic to that. I'm sure if I was single, it's like just natural. And I want to do a more well thought out scripted live about like marriage being a construct because I think that that's also this really interesting and it's like not just feminist, but like a lot of feminists say that and it's like, what are you trying to say? Like, what is your point? That it's like all fake and phony, like, so we don't really feel feelings for each other. Like, even if there wasn't a piece of paper where me and my husband were married, I like to still think like we would have wanted to stay together and raised our kids together, and like it's almost like trying to like neg marriage. A child needs a mother and a father. It's a privilege to give birth, not a human right. People who like to make rules for the future don't even contribute to the next generation. Hookstergram said, yes, and I'm sorry if I don't do a good enough job saying that, but I do believe that. Like the nuclear family is being destroyed from the inside out, and that is really sad. Diamond, your standards aren't too high. I don't even know what they are, but they aren't too high. Excuse me. Most women's are too low. Hi, Steve Grady. How are you? Oh, Tim is in here. Hi, Tim. Ugh. I also want to talk about structured water. There's this, I just read about it, like the studied watermelons water. There's like, um, yeah, we all need to eat more fruit. Adiamondin. Do you like men? Who are you asking that to? Oh, it's Diamond, and I read it Adiamondin. Oh Marriage is more than a piece of paper, Gary said. Yes. Diamond, do you feel like you need multiple things in common with someone? Yes, definitely. I think having common ground is really important. That's one reason like big age gaps make less sense to me. I mean, like 30 years, because like, do you even like know any of the same like pop culture references at that point? I have two dogs, Max. I have some posts about them. I have a few shorts about them too. They're mastiffs. Oh, like my throat. I should get some sleep now. We do get to sleep in on Saturdays, but sleeping in for a stay-at-home mama is like 8 a.m. But once again, yeah, I don't ever want to sound like, hi, Maud Armin, how are you? I don't ever want to sound like I'm complaining or like feel bad for me. It's more like I want to make it a point for other people in the same boat. Like there's so many women that will never have as big of a mouth as me and say all this stuff. And I speak for all of us. It's just, excuse me, it's just normal. It's just like what we do. It's like looked down on, but there's this one video I saw where this he asked his 91-year-old grandma what her biggest regret was, or like he asked her life advice or something after 91 years of living, like what advice, and she said that she wished she didn't get married. And like this is like not a completely uncommon sentiment. When a woman is widowed, she's far less likely to get remarried than when the man is widowed. He is far more likely to get remarried within 2 years of losing his wife, and that just says so much about how important homemakers are. And that's not to say that's the situation with all of these. I know there's situations where like the guy works and he comes home and he cooks dinner. Like that does happen. My husband would do that sometimes, working at the warehouse when we had our last baby was a newborn. He would like come home and cook dinner after like working a warehouse job all day. And I did not take that for granted. I know most men wouldn't do that. And but that's like when you do revere the job that the woman is doing at home, you will step in like when she needs it, and it's not going to be a big deal. And that's it. Yeah, when you see things like that 91-year-old woman say that, just no, she doesn't even have to paint a picture. I know what kind of a marriage she had, especially at, 91 years old. Let's be real, where it's like the mom does, and back then she had to do everything for everyone, and she probably got beat at least once a week. I hate to say that, but it's just like so normalized. My sister has another 3, 1 the way, and has 3, another 1 the way. Are you talking about, she's expecting a baby, gray man? See, this is the difference between a man and AI. I think you are pretty and be positive. AI won't give a shit word. Well, T2, but like how, what good is that going to do for you when AI won't say anything negative? Like that impedes growth, I think. Like the AI girlfriends, like there's this crazy lady that fell in love with her psychologist and did like this multi-part TikTok talking about, because she talked to AI about the psychologist. And then at a certain point, the AI stopped talking to her. I guess sometimes you give it certain cues and it's like, we're going to shut this shit down. Do you guys know what I'm talking? I'm sorry. I know so many like these viral stories, and like, um, if I could screen share and like go through like 10 stories a night with you, like that DoorDash girl got arrested. I never talked about that on my channel. This girl was doing DoorDash. I didn't want to talk about it because I have no idea what exactly happened. But as somebody that did DoorDash, I did feel for her because her story was she went and saw this guy was exposed asleep on his couch. And she decided this is why she got arrested. She took a freaking video of this man and posted it online. So, okay, even if he is this exhibitionist, which it's happened to all of us before, all not during DoorDash, honestly, but like in other situations, I've had men expose themselves. Cops don't do anything about it unless they literally see it themselves. So unless the exhibitionist is gonna like show his penis to a cop, they're never gonna do anything about it. Even though there'd literally be a man who's well known around town for doing it in the Walmart parking lot, they're seriously never gonna have anything done about, like, it's just like life for women having to deal with this shit. And so she got arrested because whatever happened, she should not have posted that on the internet. And but what got to me was, like, people making excuses for a man with his pants down around his ankles, like, come on, like, I'm sorry. In my opinion, that guy did that on purpose, that guy probably does that a lot. Who orders food and takes their pants down and, like, passes out on the couch? Like, it's possible, I don't think it's very plausible, and, yeah, it's another good example of, the excuses people give to men. I'm sorry, but, like, there's so many people trying to excuse this man's behavior, which once again, what she did was wrong. But, yeah, uh I've been in a few situations before where I'm like, "Oh my god, am I gonna get kidnapped?" I'll never forget this one single wide trailer on the top of a hill, and their gravel was like softball size, and I was so annoyed that they had that size gravel in their driveway. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's literal gravel that's like this big, and it is so hard to drive on. And I have a car, not a truck, and like that's one of the reasons I stopped doing that, 'cause it's like there's so many situations where, like, I should be in, like, a four-wheel drive, and they need to tell people, in rural Kentucky to, like they need to have an option on Instagram, like, "If you come, make sure you have a four-wheel drive," but anyways, or at least, a big, heavy truck. Yeah, this one, it was like the door was open. I couldn't contact anybody. Nobody was coming to the door. I put everything by the door. I mean, like the storm door, the door, like it was just wide open and like nobody was coming to the door. Long story short, I like the whole time I was like, is somebody gonna come take me somewhere? And I've said this to I've said this to a few of you before. I don't remember if I've said it on a live. But when we were looking for land in Kentucky, it wasn't that uncommon to find acreage with some big, creepy outbuilding that didn't make sense. And I know I'm just a stupid little woman with a little woman brain, but when it's like hunting land and there's this like big metal outbuilding, I know a lot of people have like their four wheelers, like a lot of people like recreational shit, like but no, these buildings didn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to have the kind of structures I saw with no utilities, like it was just the first property we bought, the people next to us had this huge building, like way in the woods. It was just I'm all about my privacy, but once people start putting random buildings way far in the woods, same, I'll never get money on a piece of paper again. I'm all about the cake and the party though. See, this is a difference. Oh, I already read that. I'll make a vid soon about the type of man I want. Yes, diamond, and put it out in the universe. Same, I already read that. My aunt is 106, Guinness Book of Records sooner. Daughter, my aunt died at 70. Aw. That's so sad that she had a daughter die at 70 and she's lived 36 years without her. My grandma, my mom's mom died when she was 70 and it sucked. And her mom lived to be like 96. So, yeah. But like I was saying last live, if you do make an Insta, probably wise to make it private, keep trolls out. Thank you, Fendi. Yeah, I will probably keep it on lockdown as good as possible and only add people. Hopefully people will be able to, like, request me though, right? See, I have no idea what it would. Oh my gosh, I'm such an old lady. Um, yes, another one on their way. That's nice, gray man. It's always so nice to celebrate new life. I am good. I just wanted to give you the warning. Look up Elon and Chinese robotics. Did you even talk or hear of AI 5 years ago? Oh, T2. All that stuff's really interesting to me. I do believe that it's like a little overhyped with certain aspects, but I think that the industries that's getting ready to take over uh aren't expecting it. In Australia, Fark AI. In Australia, a teen was suggested they unalive themselves and told him how to do it. Yes, just my life. Yes, I saw that young man's mom, and that was so incredibly sad. And I think a lot about, and it could happen to any, I mean, it could happen to people that aren't on the spectrum, but I always, as an autism mom, I always think about people that are atypical and and so who programmed that into the AI chat bot, you know? And, I think that it can't be good for people's mental health. Like, I know somebody you might have been joking about it, whoever said it, but, like, the agreeableness, like, so a man that sits around and only socializes with chatbots that agree with him, I think he'd turn into an Andrew Wilson sort pretty quick, that's, like, gonna lash out at anybody that differs, that says anything that's not an agreeable chatbot. But, yes, you should definitely have conversations with your kids. It's so sad. You'd be surprised when I was a cleaning lady, men would be naked all the time in their rooms and not answer on purpose. I think some get off on that stuff. Yes, Diamond. Oh my gosh. I have heard about that before. I've never been a cleaning person, but like I have heard about that. Oh, Fendi, what are you asking about? Oh, are you asking Diamond if she had one? Gary, you're so nice. Rohit, I consider myself independent, that leans. I don't know. I don't think I'm liberal. More like a libertarian, but I know it's not realistic. Oh, thank you, T2. Sally Moose, Sally, you're back because you're nuts. That's funny. As soon as I okay. Well, you got to send a request to follow. Addie, I don't know what you're retracting, but I hope everything's okay. Just letting you know about AI in the field will come quicker than you. Quick 5 years. I subscribe to continue to update you and your husband have a daughter and son. Oh, T2, I really do appreciate you. And that's one thing. It's like, like I do think it's important if you want to have if you want to do online content to like try to get established now. I mean, anytime is fine, but like if you want to stay ahead of the AI, like I've had people ask if I'm AI and stuff. I think it's kind of funny, but I understand it. And yeah, you can look and see somebody's had a channel for several years and like I think people will appreciate people more with wrinkles and, imperfections. And like there will be people that like lean towards the AI generated stuff, of course, but I think that there's always going to be it'll open the doors even more for real bitches like me. I need to go. I heard today that Facebook is a good platform now to make money off with the reels. I've not had anything in years, but thinking of making another Facebook account. Really, Diamond? I've never heard that before. Hi, Alexander. How are you? Um, yeah, it's worth a try. I mean, it does make sense because so many YouTubers I follow also do stuff on Facebook, and I've wondered that before. Barry, the Andrew is the GOAT, the greatest of all time in what? Being a baby? No, I was talking to you and you said something about doing DoorDash and I said you didn't have oh, Fendi, no. No, I've never had a concealed carry. You have to hold on. Yeah, you have to have a concealed carry to carry. There is open carry here in Kentucky, but no. Um in gosh, walking around in the Highlands the other day, I forgot my knife and pepper spray. That was dumb, but I only had one guy act a little creepy. T2 said, "I like you because you look Irish, Italian, and French, like me. have blue eyes, probably don't, but I find you a kindred soul." Oh, T2, that's so nice. I am Swiss, Colombian, Irish, English, mostly. No, Alexander, I don't consider myself Christian, but I do believe in Jesus Christ and the Bible, but I'm not religious. Bitches like me got to admit I almost spilled my coffee. Get something humor out too. You're being so nice. Good morning from Gilgit. I don't know where that is, but good morning to you. Make sure you are careful. Yeah, it's like I get too used to being here, but I usually have a knife and pepper spray, especially doing DoorDash. I mean, yeah, DoorDash was always creepier to me than Instacart. I don't know. It's like, especially at night. I'll never forget one of the last times I did it was this order in Lexington. I could not find the apartment. Like, I swear this place didn't exist. And it was an anchovy pizza. And I swear to God, these people, I don't know why would you do that? Why would you order DoorDash to a place that doesn't exist? And it had to be like the one kind of pizza I wouldn't eat. You know what I mean? Because after like trying to find it for so long, um, I figured I would get like deactivated. That shit happened a few times to me with my spatial awareness. I'm like, I cannot find. It's like been a half an hour. I'm just not a good DoorDasher. Anyways, I wanna make a video about, like, what Instacarters I did Instacart way more, and I still turn it on from time to time, but, like, it's just always 10, $12 orders. They're, like, less than that, and oh my gosh. Drive 16 miles, put wear and tear on my car, do, like, all the work that it takes to bag the groceries and stuff to make, like, literally less than $8 in an hour and put wear and tear on my car. It's the Irish Gaelic. My uncles own the Gaelic club in Lowell, Massachusetts. That's a connection. Irish. Oh, that's so cool. Um, he's a goat at debating. What do you disagree about him? Well, Barry, I disagree that the way that he talked to Charlie. I made a post on my community tab. You probably know what I'm talking about on the Whatever podcast. A young woman that he called stupid, and in response, she said, "Are you married to a woman with three baby daddies?" And then he unleashed on her in a way that if anybody else did it, it would be called out for the childish nonsense that it was. And I don't think a great debater would call the person they're debating a ditch licker. I'm sorry, they just wouldn't. Or he kept saying, "You like sniz." What are these things? I've never heard of any of this in my life. And it's like he's hanging out with 15-year-old boys. No offense to 15-year-old boys, but like, where is he even coming up with this shit? A great debater doesn't have to call people, stupid, call a lesbian named like that. A great debater can bring up his facts and like have a solid foundation of statistics, facts, data, relevant shit that we can all relate to instead of just like taking digs at people. And I do think that because of his platform, it's not like I feel like anybody, you should be able to marry whoever you want, like have whatever. I did see, I don't know how true this is. Somebody said it's public record that their first child, one of their parents tried to get guardianship of the first child Andrew and Rachel had together. I don't know how true that is, but like I've just seen last time I saw much about them, it was somebody being very unkind about the fact that they lost a child. And like I didn't even think, and then I see, oh, he's still like out there debating and he was on Piers Morgan. Um Wow, no wonder you are beautiful being results of melting pot of so many ethnicities. Alexander, thank you. That's nice. Because on a regular basis, people like there's nothing wrong with being old either. Like there's nothing wrong with being old. But people tell me I look old or like a man, which yeah. Do you think retirement will be feasible for people in the future? No, Jesus. And so I saw that nurses can't retire till they're 67 they don't get the full benefits until, and then I thought, what if like somebody like me went and got my nursing degree and I'm like 40 when I start? Is that still the same for me? And like, that is so ridiculous. And then you get even more benefits if you work until you're 70. And that to me is like they see the writing on the wall. They're going to need medical professionals so badly. And you can Google that Gaelic Club. They both passed away. I had to sell to Asians Club. It's good they left me the oh T2. Well, I'm glad you got some money out of it. Oktar, thank you. Something isn't adding up. How is automation making our lives easier, but retirement is at an older age? Shouldn't retirement be lower with automation like age 50? Well, yeah, the same, just all technology since the late 70s, and probably maybe even women entering the workforce more and like whipping you all into shape, not letting you do so much goofy horse shit all the time at work. I don't know. It's just a thought. Productivity has gone way up since the late 70s, but our work hours haven't lessened. We still like it's just to make us all wage slaves. And they know, like, it should be. I really do hope 100 years from now, the textbooks, it probably won't, but, like, we'll look back on this time as, like, what did they think they were doing? Concentrating most of the wealth into the pockets of, like, a handful of people. How did anybody ever think that that would be sustainable for all the masses? And, like, why didn't more people see what was going on? And, yeah, there's a Starbucks. What is the strike? I saw it on, is it More Perfect Union? Northeast Starbucks just distribution center. And it was so inspiring. It's like, they could. meet the contract of what they're trying to do, create a union, they could give these people the money that they're asking for, like Starbucks employees, with like literally 1 month of the CEO's salary for 2 years. Like, give them the extra money they're asking for. It's just like 1 month of his salary. Uh, they've had four CEOs in 4 years. Like, uh, if you don't do your job right, you don't get to just like move on to the next job and make a shit ton more money. Like, it's just like George Carlin said, it's a big club and you ain't in it. Well, to be fair, he only goes in on people when they disrespect first, but he does use facts, nothing but facts. Barry, if you ever, I haven't seen him act much other than the way that he acted, though, and it's very feminine. That's why I put it in my title. Like, I don't think that it's a bad thing. I'm being kind of facetious, facetious. It's how other people view femininity, and seem to think only women uh, can overly emote. But he is the exact example of like why it's ridiculous to say that a man by default is better, more mature, like any of these things. I don't see him using facts, honestly. And then when he said he wasn't a traditionalist, but he's talking about how there shouldn't be birth control and there should be no out of wedlock sex. I'm sorry. That is so crazy. Anybody who talks like that is a control freak who thinks they can like control like anybody with an actual head and a heart knows that like you can't just say like I don't think people should have sex before marriage. Jesus, exactly. Productivity is way up. Yeah, they just want to make the executives, like, hoard more money. It's just crazy how so many of us can barely scrape by, and then there's people that make, like, $1,000,000 an hour and wage slave, exactly why I sold everything and moved off grid in the middle of nowhere. 10 rag, good for you, 10 rag. I would love to do that personally. We kind of tried it once. And we ran out of money. My older sons didn't want to live like that, and I couldn't blame them. So I was like, after 11 and a half months, but like, I look forward to doing it again. I miss the wood stove. I miss the heat. Of course, I'm not the one that was chopping the wood. If you retire at 70, how long will a person enjoy their retirement years? I know, Alexander. It breaks my heart every time I see, which seems to be like everywhere I go, I see like senior citizens working. I hate it. And I know some of them want to, some of them enjoy working, being outside the house. So and that's not to like infantilize them, like, oh, you poor little old person, but it's like you should you've been working your whole life, haven't you? Like, when are you gonna get a break? Like, but yeah, I think that alternative forms of housing is like one big thing. I feel bad, like, filming people's houses, but there's so many shed conversions, like, I can think of, like, 5 off the top of my head. Once again, Indiana, like, they don't let you make a 200 square foot dwelling as easily, they just don't, and, like, if you do, you know, want to live like that, Kentucky most counties in Kentucky are very lax. They both died 10 years now. Both my uncles said, "Talk shit, I might do a podcast." T2, yeah, is seriously, I think that YouTube has been better and better to smaller creators because they realize, like, they can't not that they don't favor the really big ones, but you know what I mean, it's, like, easier to get in the algorithm than it used to be. We're living in 1920s Germany at the moment, except for the child brothels part, Barry. I don't know. I wouldn't be so sure it was except for that, unfortunately. But you're talking about it being like out in the public and stuff. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Gosh, it was an article. I still haven't posted the shorts, but it's like, you're not so mean as you seem. Are you talking to me, Lucky? I'm not mean at all. I have a very strong opinion about a lot, but I really am not mean. Um, there was an article talking about how like 80% of money in circulation was printed in 5 years, around the pandemic time, and I can't remember the name of the village in Germany, but it talks about how the inflation was exactly like this region or city or something. Oh, Diamond, I hope you sleep well. Love you, girl. Good night. Um, you don't have to thank me. I'm on track for freedom. 45, I will be retired to homestead full time. Best decision I ever made. That's so awesome, 10 Rag. I'm so glad. Have you ever considered doing a YouTube channel? There's like so many people that are disillusioned, and I understand it, but like there's still hope. There still are some options for some of us. Do you know that the moon highly influences our gut biome and thus our mood? Dispassionate observer. Gut biome. Well, I know it affects a lot, and I know it affects parasites, right? So that does make sense. But no, I don't think I've ever. That's so interesting. Isn't it crazy how the moon controls like the tides and so much? It's wild. Um, the Am I stupid for saying magnetic? Okay, I need to go. I'm gonna start saying completely unfactual things. I think that's where the saying most men die at 25 but get buried at 75 comes from. Benjamin Franklin said, Jesus. Yes, that's so sad. I'm well, Explore World. How are you? In 1920s, people were poor. I am living good. If you're a man right now, you're failing. Women, I give a break. Men abandon them and kids. Oh, well, T2, with all due respect, T2, you were talking about how your family had a business you got to sell. Like, just think, like, not everybody has that at all. Like, think about if you came from a family that had literally nothing, it would be a lot harder for you. Um, and I do think, yeah, most able-bodied men have no excuse. I do give you that, but that's the thing. There's so many people that aren't able-bodied, and it's just sad because I don't blame people for giving up because there's nothing to look forward to. And I know that's super nihilistic, but yeah. Jesus, my uncle retired at 55 years because he wanted to travel and visit his relatives living in different islands. Oh, that sounds so nice. WAP, WAP, WAP. I don't know. I've never heard that before that Hitler was a no-no person. Um, oh, thank you, T2. Um, oh, I'm getting ready to go, baby Diag or whatever your name is. Good morning, Gazer. Or you're saying good morning or good evening. It's evening here. I worked finance for 25 years out of university and got sick of the concrete jungle and being a corporate bot. Sold suburban home and bought 180 acres to homestead, zero debt. 10 rag, I love hearing that. Good for you. That's the American dream. I don't understand why people I know I sound so judgmental, but when you have like a good chunk of money and you like buy like a really big house on a really little plot, that drives me nuts. You could have like 100 plus acres. Why wouldn't you want all that land, you know? And granted, not all land is like usable. But yeah, okay, getting a job is not an easy thing to do. Then you have to go to work every day and waste your life doing that. I totally understand why people don't want to work for like for not enough money to get by, you know? There isn't anything to look forward to unless I'm leaving the country, Fendi said. Yeah, raising wildflowers. I think I've talked about them before. They're in Albania right now. I mean, yeah, we think we're like the greatest country in the world. We're really not. If your desperation means you have to sacrifice anything, you can sacrifice everything. Don't feel bad. Only women and children have the freedom to be careless. Men don't. Well, Barry, who said that, Barry? Was that Andrew Wilson? See, I don't understand why men seem to think that women are like the helpless ones that are gonna like wither away and die without a man building a bridge. Like it's I'm sorry. Um Women can't be careless when we're birthing the babies and when you're taking care of a baby. I know some women are, and that's awful, but there's a lot of responsibility in taking care of babies. And if the men that do understand that, wouldn't say that. I'd sell everything and just leave the country, Fendi said. Well, I hope you get to do that. Um, Terry, I didn't say I would do it another time. You know I didn't. Okay, guys, I am gonna go. Yes, I can't wait. Maybe I'll make it big on YouTube and you guys can all follow along while we go buy some land. We had 23 acres and that was like a dream come true. I couldn't imagine 180. How long does it take you to walk from one end to the other? Like hours. It would be hours of walking. That like excites me. Um, I was born in Louisville, ACOB. We live in South Central Kentucky right now. I don't say the exact town, but I live like in between Louisville and Lexington, basically. I'm in British Columbia, Canada. My wife is equal part to the success of our homestead. Could not do it without her. Oh, Tenrag, that's so nice. I love hearing that. Good for you. Not that you have to get my affirmation, but you made the right decision. And that's another like, we're not getting any younger and it's hard to make a move like that, but you won't regret it. I've never heard a Latina with such a Southern accent. That's funny you call me a Latina. Okay, you misunderstand. Men have serious repercussions for being careless. Women and children are easily forgiven. No, that's not an Andrew quote. Okay, well, I do understand that in regards to like, okay, the way that women are given lesser sentences for the same crimes in court, like, I understand that, but life in general, I feel like we're all gonna say we feel the or whatever we are. Women are often parentified and made to be the little mommies and have to take care of the house, even if they're like the younger kid, they're still like by default the little Susie homemaker, often, not always. But it's like we're expected to take care of everything and everyone, and then people look at us like we're little nitwits. It's part of what makes it harder. Keith, no matter what we label of qualities, may we just automatically and naturally adapt, improvise, and overcome to naturally thrive in a positive and not so positive situation with every healing breath. Well, I seriously do need to go, but these schools diagnose people with ADHD and make it more difficult for people with learning differences to find work. You probably need a special program to get a job. It's not right. Yeah, I really no, I do agree with all the knowledge we have on like different learning styles and learning abilities and stuff. I totally agree with that. I don't know what to call you, WAP. Are you WAP? But yeah, it's like we know so much, but we don't apply it. And like people on the autism spectrum can be some of the best employees, like they don't have a problem doing the same thing over and over and like they will do it like exceedingly well. Sometimes I'm just saying like they can be if you can work with them and teach them the job process. Anyways, and it makes me sad that there's people out there that like, will never know what it's like to work a job because and they'll never feel that good productive feeling. I want to sell cars, but I don't have the conscience to take people's money. Hey, Zay, I know what you mean. What is this lie? Pro traditional values or these weird modern values? Oh, Terry, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I homeschool all three of my kids. Well, my two older ones they went to high school, middle school, but I have been married for 15 years. I think by a lot of people's standards, I would be traditional, but I don't, then by some I wouldn't because a real traditional woman wouldn't be sitting on YouTube in a tank top on a Saturday or Friday night. Um, that's what I was saying. Like traditional is, I said this earlier, it's very subjective. Like it could vary from culture to culture, even, what is traditional to one person might not be the same to the other. These guys don't know how to do it, get money first and status and helps build good looks. Yeah, well, it's easy to say get money first though, T2. Like it's not easy for everybody. But it was nice talking to you guys. Yeah, 2% of the population. I heard that AI filter out applications and deleted them immediately if they don't meet the criteria. Hmm. Um, oh, Wayne. Okay, Wayne. That's cool. Those are your initials. Okay. I didn't think necessarily it was like the song, but stay-at-home mom is such a derogatory term. We call moms homemakers. Yeah, Barry, I like that. That's nice. The latest study in the UK showed that the average woman in the age between 18 to 29 has a body count of 7. Surely something is going wrong here, guys. Um, Okay, see, you guys just make me want to talk more. But why is it like just this is how I see it. The sexual revolution, treating sex as like this casual thing is horrible for everybody involved. And like women are going along to get along. Like, you can't win as a woman. Like, go look up men complaining celibacy. There's like compilations of men being like, "What do you mean? You've given it up before, but you're not going to give it up to me?" Like, the women think men think just because a woman has had sex before, he is entitled to her body after a date. I can't I lost count. I was like, "Oh, it was just one guy that." No, it was 2. No, it was 3. No, there's like 4. There's like 5 guys that seriously, like, flipped, like, once they realized I wasn't gonna jump into bed with them after, like, literally 1 day. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, you can't win as a woman. And then if you decide, "Oh, I don't like what I was doing with my body, and now I'm gonna, like, rein it in a bit, and I'm gonna be celibate until I find my life partner," then you're like, "Oh, you're what do you mean? So other people could have it, but I can't?" It's like every single guy says stuff like that, and it's like, um the goal should be everybody needs to treat it as a sacred act, and it's not like men can do it with a bunch of people, but women can't. That double standard is so who are the men sleeping with if women are uh, so are you guys gonna be like what you complain about women doing on Tinder, like 80% of women going for like the top 5% of men? You wanna be like 80% of men sleeping with the 5% of women that are promiscuous? I don't get it. And what and the way that you can't I don't mean this towards anybody in particular, the way that it's never considered that it's like but, like, if women did this thing where we were like, "We're allowed to do it because we're women, we're built differently about anything." Oh, you would call it out, you do call it out. We have, like, literal hormones made to grow a human being that make some of us get a little moody sometimes. It's like, I said earlier that Western Muslim women are usually virgins until they get married. They also tend to have a lot of kids. There's a reason they have a high birth rates. Well, Terry, they're also some of the most oppressed women in the world. And it's interesting how the less oppressed a woman is, the less likely she is to just like have babies the rest of her life. I think it's beautiful when a woman wants to have tons of babies, but as somebody that had 3, it wreaks havoc on your body. I couldn't imagine willingly having like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. Have hernias. Like I couldn't, and I think it might not have been from pregnancy, but they could have been. Anyways, if you could take a step back and like put yourself in women's shoes because you looked at them as human beings, not like subhuman, then you would be able to see, wow, like we all are young and dumb at a certain point. And if it was as easy for me to get laid as it is for like a attractive female, which I think like most females are, I would have had a body count of 7 by that age too, let's be real, and I think that's a lot of it is like, and you don't want that though, you really don't, you don't. You'll talk about how damaging it is, but then you encourage it. Alexander, it was nice talking to you. My name is Lydia. I just do a 3-date rule, Fendi. Like, you would you be like, "Hey, if we don't do it now, I'm not gonna see you again," or would you just, like, drop it after the 3rd date if it didn't happen? I'm just curious. Um, I just pulled those numbers out of my behind, Maria. When I said 5%, I don't know for sure. We can act like it's the same, but deep down we know it's not. The first thing an angry woman says to insult another woman is poor because they know a woman who sleeps around is disturbing. Oh, Terry, I agree with you. I just think it's just as disturbing when a man is a whore. That's all. Like I don't play into that double standard. Like, and I don't look down on the women. I look down on society. Matthew, your grandmother had 14. That is crazy. Bill, mom had 8 and your sister has 8. Wow. And I know some women's bodies are probably a little more resilient than some of us, but I'm sorry, it is hard for me to speak slowly. We carry the pain from every relationship we have. Who likes that express in our new relationship? Case said, yeah. Terry, to be honest, a lot of the value Muslims have are also the same in Eastern European Christians' values, which is why they also have high birth rates too. Well, I think in a great world with a great economy, especially, like, a lot of us would like to just focus on having babies, but, it's just more impossible for most of us. I just drop it after the 3rd date and not talk anymore. Well, yeah, that's your choice, and it's like every guy I'm thinking about, like, they seriously turned into, like, a little shit. They were, like, mad at me. I'll never forget this one guy. He thought, like, we were gonna do it in a lifeguard tower on the beach. Like, no, there's, like, people or what? And, like, no. And then I remember, like, I drove with him. That was stupid. Like, walking back to his car in, like, complete silence, him dropping me off, like, he refused to talk to me, and I think it was the 2nd date. "I'm doing well, Tim, how are you?" Well, what I'm gonna say is hard for a man to get laid with a woman, it takes a lot of work, probably a little bit more work, and, it's just if you put yourself in their shoes, like, well, it I know what it sounds like. It's not making excuses. It's saying, like, this is where we're at in society. It's not the woman's fault. It's like, um, all of society conditioning her to think that it's okay. But then, like, not to call you out, Fendi, but I'm just saying that's like young men have like the 3 date rule. Like we literally can't win. Is like, and people like Taylor Swift, I don't like Taylor Swift, but it's like you're just around long enough, you're gonna be seen with a handful of men, and then you're called a whore if you like don't settle down till you're 35. But you're supposed to wait to settle down till you're 35. It's like you literally can't win. Um, Men don't go sleeping around with multiple women. I've already read that. I never get to talk to women. If I had one, I would respect her. Nobody would disrespect. Oh, Victor, I'm sorry to hear that. Mikey. Okay. This life has a $500,000 rude comments fee at this time, Keith said. Um, oh, Alexander. Thank you. Good morning from Sweden. Oh, well, on that note, I really am gonna go. It was nice hanging out with you guys for a couple more hours tonight. Couldn't I couldn't leave. I love you. I hope you have a good weekend, and I will see you Sunday night. Men just have a natural pride and like to believe they make the rules, but it can ruin the man's understanding of what a woman is actually saying, unfortunately. Bill, yes. Bill, you are very self-aware. No, you are totally right. It's like, oh, people in general can be prideful, but yes, men especially have a problem with their ego and overcoming that. And what I think is like women, like we have the biggest ego death in the world. If we are moms, becoming a mom is like, will check you, put you in your place. You think you're like some, young hot thing that's invincible or something, like having a baby will really make you realize what life is all about. And like, of course, dads have babies too, but I mean, the process of your body changing drastically and then having that baby outside of your body, but you're still sharing the body with the baby, even if you don't nurse, just like having to take care of them so much. That's it. Somebody else said that, and I completely agree with that. That like becoming a mother is the biggest ego death. So then you have this imbalance where the woman feels one way, and the man isn't seeing it from her perspective. Yeah, lucky. I am a night owl. Only here I do that, not overseas, Fendi says. You'd be more traditional overseas. Well, you get what you give. You might find you get what you want, if you start giving it. Men need to stop judging women as if they know better because they don't. Bill gets it. Spent 24 years in the military, really respect women. Oh, well, thank you for your service, Victor. I hope anybody, who is lonely finds somebody one day. It really makes me sad. Love you guys. I will see you Sunday. Okay. Sunday night. Um, Terry, you were in the I wish you were in here a little bit earlier. Poor countries have traditional values, hence why they are having kids and low divorce rates. But it's like, it's something about economies, and they're just used to living with less. Nothing ever really changed. But yeah, there's a lot playing into birth rates. Love you guys. Bye.